What's going on, Broncos country? This is pretty shocking news that PJ Locke played through a broken back throughout the 2024 regular season. I'm not exactly sure when this injury popped up, but you can see, I mean, we'll take a look at the PFF, just how his play kind of declined down the stretch of last season. And it was really interesting. He put out a video yesterday documenting his rehab process. This is very interesting stuff. First off, going to say PJ Locke, man, you are tough as nails, like times 1,000. To play through something like this is unexplainable. Um, I really don't have much words to describe what that must take mentally and physically to put yourself out there on the field when you're going through something like this, guys. So, hey, I'll explain this, but like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this. Wish PJ Locke well in his rehab. And I think it's why we're going to see him hopefully have a bounce back season when he's ready to get back on the field. I'll leave the video link for his documentary in the description, but check this out. So you might be wondering, Dave, what are we looking at? Well, give me a second. I'll get up my little tool up here. And so you can see how there are these little discs, right? That are like the cushion, the shock absorbers on the spine, right? You got the vertebrae, but you can see the one right here in between these two vertebrae has completely like degenerated. It is no longer there. And so you got bone on bone, you got a bunch of nerves. Uh, I can't imagine how painful something like this is. And so he essentially had spinal fusion surgery. You can see here where they ended up kind of putting some different equipment in here to give it some cushion as well as some more structure to fuse these two vertebrae together right here, and then providing a little bit of shock absorption. I think fusing it right there. Obviously the doctor can explain this a lot better than I can in the video, so check it out. But this is insane. From what I understand, this has not really happened to football players, and so it's going to be interesting to see how he rebounds, bounces back. But as long as rehab is going well, I don't see why we couldn't expect to see PJ Locke maybe rebound to some extent. You can see here, I mean, during the end of the year, really week 16, 17, 18, and then the wild card. I mean, he was picked on in coverage. He did have some other issues, later or in the middle of the season against Kansas City, Cleveland. That was just an absolute disaster. But I'm going to blame mainly Levi Wallace for that. And you can see his grades throughout his career. I mean, he had a really good year in 2022 in a part-time role. Same with 23. I thought he did well, but you can see the grades here, they just declined. His run defense, tackling, coverage, had an interception against the Packers in 2023, but none in 24. So you can look and see NFL passer rating in 2022 when targeted 76, then essentially 96 in 23, and then this year almost 133. Yeah, you might be wondering, is this like Michael Porter's injury? No, this was not like Michael Porter's injury, thankfully. Michael Porter Jr. did not have a spinal fusion, to my understanding. So he did have some other surgeries with his back and nerve damage and all that sort of stuff. I think PJ Locke is in much better condition. We'll see. Hopefully, this doesn't limit his mobility moving forward, and he's able to still, um, you know, play football, which is a very, very, you guys know this, it's the most physical sport out there, right? So, but it seems like everything is moving along great. So there's been no reports about him, missing any time. And I want to say he's been out there for OTAs or mini camp. I can't really remember if he was active or not, but nonetheless, bringing in Talanoa Hufanga, Brandon Jones coming back for a second year. We got our starting safeties, but PJ Locke, I think, can go back into being that role of being a very, very, very good third safety for us and a spot starter if any of those guys go down. So I think this helps explain maybe the decline in play that we saw from PJ this past year. Yeah, when you're playing with something like this going on, I mean, yeah, yeah, your play is going to decline. That is going to happen. So we can take a look again at this. I mean, when you got vertebrae like that, you got nerves freaking out. I can't imagine really the amount of pain that he's been going through with this. And yeah, I'm not sure if this occurred because of football or if it was just something that, happened on its own. I'm not a doctor, but nonetheless, getting this spinal fusion done should help protect him in the future, help his protect his spine in the future, so there is no more of this bone on bone pain that I'm sure was really messing with him. So hats off to PJ Locke for the recovery. Again, this to me is absolutely insane that you can go through and play through something with this. And he didn't have an MRI on his back until after Buffalo, man, after the wild card round. So yeah, I think that, while this is never good news to see that one of your guys went through a broken back injury, essentially, right? But it does help explain maybe why we didn't see the PJ Lock that a lot of us were expecting in 2024. And I would say that I'm looking at this as, hey, but it's bounce back season, baby. It's bounce back time. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Again, check it out. Wish PJ Lock, support, love on his rehab. And this just makes me even more excited to see him ball out for the Broncos in 25. So y'all have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow. Go Broncos.